What's going on, guys? It's been a minute since I posted a video to this YouTube channel, and there's been a couple of good reasons for that. First of all, I've had quite a nasty chest infection over the last few weeks, which has meant that I've been bedbound for 4 or 5 days and unable to talk without sounding like someone's taken my voice box out, scrubbed it around in some dirty river water and put it back in my throat. I've also been on holiday with the family, so my rule is that when I go away with the wife and kids, I don't do any filming for YouTube. That is time that is literally just solely put aside for them and for us to enjoy just being together as a family. Now, you might notice we've got a nice white backdrop to the video, which can only mean one thing: finally made it into the bungalow. Now, I'm filming this at the end of March, should have been in the property at the end of February, so getting here obviously hasn't been without its difficulties. Firstly, when the guys turned up to fit the hardwood flooring at the beginning of the month, they lobbed the spirit level down and they were like, "Guys, your floor just isn't level." Now, the entire floor throughout the property was one solid cast concrete block, and to the eye we were like, that looks dead level. The guys are going to turn up, they're going to have no issue fitting the floor in. In fact, they're going to be thanking us for giving them such a nice floor on which to lay all of the laminate down. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. What ended up happening was the floors tapered off towards the edges of the room, and they said, you know, we can install your flooring, but we are going to be proceeding at risk, and you run the risk of this flooring cracking over time due to the fact that the panels aren't going to be seated perfectly level. So to get around that, we had to get some professional screeders in to come and screed the property to give us a nice, like, snooker level table level of levelness, if that's even a word. So we had to wait a week for that to cure, and the day that we went off to Center Parcs for our little family holiday was the day that the guys turned up to fit the flooring, and we just had our fingers crossed the entire week that they weren't going to run into any problems. But to be fair to them, they pulled an absolute mega shift. 3 of them got the entire place done in a single day, and we even had one guy turning up with his fingers bandaged up, looking like he'd either broke or dislocated them, but he was still there putting in the graft. So we had a nice little family holiday, went to Center Parcs at Woburn, and loved watching the kids zip about on the little balance bikes. Seeing the little smiles on their faces is something that I just absolutely live for, and nurturing their love of cycling like I've got, and just watching them zip about on the little bikes was just great. Seeing the smiles on their faces, enjoying the freedom and the fun that comes, and the speed as well that comes with just not having to walk about was absolutely great. But at the end of the week, it was time to come home, and with the flooring installed, it was time to start getting some furniture into the place. I enlisted the help of my dad, getting some of the bigger bits of furniture out of the garage, like the sofa, like a dining table, so that there's a decent level of creature comforts ready for me to move into the place. Unfortunately, we've still got no radiators on the walls. We're still waiting for the plumber to come back and get those installed, and we've only got 2 or 3 working plug sockets in the entire place. The electrician's come in and done his first fix, but we're just sort of waiting to be able to tie up the electrician and the plumber coming back so that they can get their respective final bits done. One thing that was key for me was getting my bikes into the place so that I can get back into the habit of cycling into work. I'm mad about cycling. I can sit and talk to people about metrics and different bikes and different training exercises literally all day. My dream job really would be riding a bike. I'd do it all day, every day if I could, if the weather was nice. Although, don't think I'd quite like being a Deliveroo driver. Riding in the city for me is not where it's at. It's all about being out in the countryside, getting some fresh air and just enjoying yourself. But anyway, sort of digressing a bit slightly from the bungalow topic. So on top of getting the bikes in and some furniture in, it's time to really sort of start cracking on now, getting the flooring laid, or the tiling done in the kitchen and utility room, and getting the final coats of paint done in the boys' bedroom. We're going to be getting the bed and the wardrobes for their rooms delivered in the next couple of weeks, and it is absolute priority number 1 that we get their rooms finished first. it's key for us for them to have their own bedrooms so that they feel like they've got their own sense of home within this place. Everything else really comes second, and that's including the master bedroom and the study. Whilst I've started getting the study set up using some of the old furniture we had from our last place, because obviously I'm a bit of a tech geek and I want to be able to make some videos to post on my YouTube channel, I've just got a basic setup sorted out using the old furniture. And to be honest, I quite like this. It gives a nice big worktop that we can use to store all of the tech, and obviously to store all of the assortment of fountain penning. As I mentioned in my YouTube channel introduction video, I'm autistic, and I really like the idea of being able to use a pen and paper to get your thoughts down. There's just something a bit more complete about being able to write your thoughts down on pen and paper as opposed to like typing them out in a digital space. Whilst using a digital space for things like that means that you've got everything in one place, I always feel that when I'm writing something with a pen and paper that I sort of expand on my thoughts a little bit more, and that's the basis that I use to create the brainstorming ideas when it comes to thinking about a topic to make for a YouTube video. But anyway, digressing again, let's get back on track to the bungalow. Now, this place is a few months away from being ready for the wife and kids to move into, and in the interim it's probably going to look like a bit of a bachelor pad, although I am going to stop short of pulling up a deck chair and a beer fridge in front of the TV, mostly because we don't actually have a TV in the place yet. We're still waiting on the sockets to get fitted from the electrician, so there's no point hanging a TV on the wall for it to just sit there gathering dust and not be able to be used for anything. This place is still years away from being completely finished. Obviously, once the inside's finished, we've still got all the skirting boards and everything to put on, we've still got all of the architrave to put on around the doors, and there's still a fair few more coats of paint that need to be done on everything. We still need to get the kitchen fitted, and as spring is sort of beginning to rear its beautiful, wonderful head in the UK, we're getting to the point where we're going to need to start taking care of the garden as well. We've got a hell of a lot of lawn space, and that's going to mean it's going to take quite a bit of cutting, especially considering that this property laid dormant for a year to 18 months before we even bought it, never mind moved in. The garden's going to need a lot of TLC, and unfortunately I'm not the green-fingered person, and gardening is not something that I particularly enjoy. I kind of like draw the line at mowing lawns, but when the weather's nice and the house is done, I think getting the garden finished off is really going to finish the property off nicely. The place that this, or the way that this place looked when we first took it on, is completely different to the way that it looks now, and it's nowhere even finished. When we first took it on, even over Christmas when we were getting the place plastered, the place looked dark, it looked damp, it looked dreary, it just looked miserable. Now that spring's come round and we've got white paint on all of the walls, the place is beginning to look nice, it's beginning to look crisp, and it's beginning to look modern. The massive windows that we've got in all of the rooms let in a phenomenal amount of light and do a really, really great job for lighting all the rooms up. Like for now, for example, I'm sat in the studio, it's on a Saturday morning, we've got loads of light coming through the window, I don't need to use any artificial light, and with the nice white backdrop of the walls, really lights the room up nicely. I cannot wait for this place to be finished, for the family to have moved in, and to be enjoying family barbecues and stuff in the summer, out in the garden. It's just going to be a really, really wonderful family home once it's done, and I'm looking forward to sharing the journey of getting this place finished and moving the family in with all of you guys on YouTube. So until next time, see you then. Hopefully there'll be a nice big bungalow update coming in the future, some nice furniture installed, and some more paint on the walls. But until next time, thanks for sticking with me.